Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the chat wheel. It is March 17th. Happy St. Paddy's Day, everybody. And with me, as always, is Greg Whittisip Laird. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm recovering from
what?
A very long weekend and week of really
Casting.
odd sleeping hours and casting, and recovering is a strong word for it, because I'm actually just going to school and making myself wake up. As a result, I've woke up at like 6:30 a.m. the last 2 days. It's been really weird. I don't know. I'm very mixed up right now.
Well, you've done some great casting, though, for BTS. You even got called.
Fun.
You've got a shout-out.
I got a thread, which means that I've officially entered the love and hate cycle.
I can add you to the wheel.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
that was cool, though. I don't know. It's nice to see that people actually care. At least a
Don't
little
worry.
bit. So.
Don't worry, I got a full list of hate right over here. I'm just waiting for. I'm waiting for that.
Ready in reserves just for just in case.
I actually have it like I can just copy and paste it. It's all set.
It's been fun though. I don't know. Kato guy has been joining me. He didn't do all the Korea games, but he did like one night of them, and we did the Euro games together yesterday. And we have a little bit of a different casting dynamic. It's not like the normal, like straight up play-by-play and then analysis. We kind of like mix it. And it's more like a normal sports broadcast, I think, and it seems to work pretty well. It's definitely more comfortable for us, I think. So,
Well, Kato guy's got that kind of
different.
feel. Yeah, it's like that goofiness to it that works for him.
But I have like
You know?
pretty decent analysis, and his color is like really top notch, I think. So, I don't know. It's been fun. We're still sort of fine tuning things, but I think we're gonna be casting together quite a bit. So.
Excellent.
See how it
Now,
works out.
as always, sometimes our good friend Mason White Elfin Hills, aka Dota Ciotti. How are you, my man?
How long am I going to get flamed for that? Just out of curiosity.
I got like 4 more weeks of
Forever.
at least.
And then if you mix one episode, then it's like 6 more weeks.
Yeah,
it restarts the cycle.
Oh yeah.
you're like 2 years
when does
out.
when does the love cycle come?
Just
Never.
never. I'm
Never.
a disapproving parent.
No.
Well,
he's not improving at all.
No
no.
improving here. Only sadness. Oh god, that was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know what? Yeah.
So
I mean,
how are you doing? Is the question.
You know what? I'm doing pretty well. I've enjoyed falling asleep to Greg's and Coddle's beautiful voices the past, few days over Korean Dota. It's been nice. My back hurts a lot today, and I think this is what it feels like when it gets to your age, Dare, and we start to get old and things start to just kind of break on us, and I don't like it. So when I'm like 40 years down the road, when I'm more towards your end of the spectrum, I'll be able to sympathize.
Holy
with you,
shit!
Like very fully, and so that's where I am today.
3 weeks ago, I realized I'm starting to get carpal tunnel in my left hand. That's how old I am. I have to go see a doctor about it.
Hey man, that's
they
not
got surgery for that now.
Yeah,
so
they could fix that.
Yeah, I know. By the way,
If you stop masturbating too, that tends to help.
it feels like a different person with my left hand. With us this week, our very esteemed special guest, Suns fan. How are you, my man?
Hi, friends. How are you doing? Actually, somebody in the chat just told me that the Suns are playing right now, so I forgot to tape the game. So when I have to go on my phone here and tape the game, I'm a terrible fan. Yeah, this is pretty bad.
Oh god, I screwed up.
Glad to be here, though. Excellent.
Oh, I am amazed.
You're amazing.
Damn it! I don't want to be there yet.
Everyone just continue. I'll fix it.
Dude, you should be so lucky.
Oh,
Greg just woke up from a nap.
I
did indeed
just wake up from a nap, so some things are not quite perfect. Alright, it's fixed now. We're good.
You couldn't even put a brush through your hair, really?
We're good. Hey man, my
me.
hair is beautiful all the time. It doesn't require any sort of attention.
I am the anti-BTS
all
right
I
now,
need to do
okay?
is just wake up and it looks beautiful.
It actually looks pretty good for like just being slept on.
I'm
not gonna lie.
I've got good hair.
I mean, I don't like those shades, but definitely the hair is nice.
So, yeah, I'm excited for the show this week. I think we've got some good topics.
Yeah, let's.
Been some fun stuff happening the last week.
Oh yeah, we got some questions for you, Suns fan, from us and then from Reddit. All right. So I was watching the BTS show yesterday, which was actually amazing and way better than ours in terms of production value. But until we started Indiegogo, we're kind of screwed. Now, Do you shit before talk shows as a cast?
No. Well, then again, I haven't been on too many talk shows, so I can't. It's a very small sample size, but for this one, no. I guess I should probably.
Preface this with a story.
Okay, yeah, I do need to preface this a little bit. So yesterday, Cinderman was on the BTS show, and I told him to say this, that I'll just tell you what actually happens to me. I guess that's the best thing to do. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have to shit before not only every match, like series, but literally every single game. Like I run the commercials, and I have my girlfriend come in and make sure that she runs the next ones while I'm shitting my guts out in the bathroom.
Like in a best of 3 series, like before each of the 3 games.
Okay, it's not every single time, but like yesterday, as an example, it was every single game. I was about to explode. Like game 3, I actually thought I had to leave in the middle of the game because I was about to shit myself.
I'm pretty sure that's nerves.
So it might be nerves, but like from my perspective, I don't feel nervous. Does that make sense? Like I don't have butterflies.
Yeah, this is just your body taking the nervousness and making you shit it out.
I'm thinking you should like talk to a doctor or something.
Yeah, my bowels just have a mind of their own. I don't know what it is, but yeah,
I think I am. I think it happened. You know, I might have more bowel movements when I'm casting on average. Maybe it's just the yelling or something. I don't know.
Here's some pro tips.
Gets it all out there.
It just pushes it all out.
Pro tip: use Pepto-Bismol because it blocks you up and then it comes out green.
Oh no!
You're welcome.
I want you to come look at what's on my desk right now. It's not just Pepto-Bismol, mind you. It's cherry Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah. Oh
it is legit.
God.
New cherry
It actually
Pepto.
tastes delicious.
Dude,
it's
I gotta be honest.
Beautiful dessert for every match.
I gotta have the original, man. If I'm drinking Pepto-Bismol, I need the original flavor.
It's time to start. Just unscrew the cap, just down the whole bottle. It's like, all right, perfect. I'm ready to go.
You're the perfect poster boy for Pepto-Bismol.
That's funny.
That wasn't even set up, by the way. I just bought a Pepto-Bismol because of personal experience. So
it's a personal sponsorship, so it's been a long time partnership overall.
So the next question is like, how did Dota Cinema start? What was its origins?
Well, let's see. Neil, who is the owner and founder, started the channel in August of 2012, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He was just making like the worst hero previews I've ever seen. They're so bad. Well, mainly because you couldn't get any in-game footage, right? At the time, it was very hush-hush. Nobody was in the beta. It was probably an alpha at that point. So you can only get it from videos that were shown from TI 1, I guess you would call it. And he needed somebody to voice over the previews because the ones that he had made were complete garbage. In fact, one of them was voiced by him, which I guess you guys don't know him, but he has a hilarious voice. He sounds like a little kid.
I never heard it, but I know of Neil.
If you look up Dota 2 Marana on YouTube, it's the non-remastered version is his voice, and it is like I challenge you to watch it and not laugh. Like it is. Like he's saying like and stuff like that in a recording. Like he doesn't even bother editing it. It's so bad. But anyway, I was volunteering for GameReplays.org. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's like this volunteer organization that casts certain things, and they were starting to get to Dota 2. And he just happened to be a part of it at the time, and he was looking for somebody to voice over some of the heroes, and I volunteered, and the rest, I guess, is history. So I got very lucky.
Nice. I mean, it's a great website, obviously, before you even start casting. Like, the hero previews were amazing in terms for myself.
And their
sometimes
system.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because, like, I didn't start playing Dota, like, in the old days. I was a Dota 2 person, so some of the heroes that came out I had no clue about. And that was actually quite useful. So next question. The XMG Captain's Draft Invitational has been absolutely amazing and has been well received by publicly. How's it been as an event, as a business? I mean, Cinderin talked about it yesterday briefly on BTS, that it was doing fairly well, but I want to get your take on it.
Yeah, it's exceeded expectations, to say the least. I mean, we've run smaller tournaments that weren't really professionally based, or professional in terms of teams at least. So we didn't know. We had absolutely no idea what to expect. We've never had a ticket in the game before. I was expecting maybe like $5,000 in addition to the $20K that we got, and we've almost doubled that to I think it's like at 39,000 and change right now. So we're hoping
it's gone up a lot.
Yeah, cool. It's exceeded expectations to say the least. So I'm happy, and my girlfriend can attest to me being very scared of the reaction to my casting, because at times it can be not very serious. And I was expecting like all these hate threads the first day on Reddit in particular, and it was the opposite at first. Now it's starting to balance out a little bit, but yeah,
I've noticed. I mean, I've noticed your girlfriend's helped you out quite a bit at this point with this. She seems like an integral part of this.
Yeah, she's like she does a little bit of everything.
She's
I guess
the co-pilot.
Yeah, well, she's okay. So she does a lot of stuff, but the main thing that I look to her for is PR related stuff, because
I thought it was sex, but okay.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's secondary.
Oh my God.
With my libido, that's secondary. But as far as like PR related stuff, as I told you guys before we went live, I can say some stupid stuff because I'm just very honest and I don't even think about what I'm saying. And she like is kind of my barrier, so to speak.
I feel you. I mean, I was talking about my fucking health issues on Twitter earlier in like a 7-post Twitter thing. I don't know what you'd call it if like 7 messages on Twitter, but I would say a thread. But
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what you really call it. Next question. How do you like MLG.TV as a streaming platform?
It's good. I mean, I think it has its issues, but you can say that about pretty much any platform.
Oh, yeah.
Like Twitch may not have the exact same problems, it's just other areas. It's an experimentation to some degree, because I mean, I know MLG is they're not starting in the Dota 2 scene, but they're starting to expand more, taking it more seriously, and they can't remember actually who approached who. I think they approached us originally a few months before we had the idea for the tournament, and we're like, okay, let's just give it a try, because if this becomes like the next, because Twitch doesn't have any competition right now. Let's not kid ourselves as far as viewership's concerned.
Hitbox is just tearing it up.
And MLG is, they don't technically want to compete. It's just a different kind of compete. It's like higher quality production value type stuff that Twitch doesn't always have, because you can go on Twitch, you can be some like 8-year-old kid, picking your nose and streaming if you want. So it's not always the best quality stuff. But as far as like issues that they've had, it's stuff that we've been talking with them regularly about. Like the chat is one thing that it's not good. It's not a good chat right now. And I think that's probably the biggest issue. And people are having issues with ad block and stuff like that. So we knew that it's not going to be a seamless transition for them, which is to be expected, especially when you're talking about the Dota 2 market, because they're used to other games where, I mean, in all reality, the reaction that you get from the audiences for those games is completely different than what you get for Dota. Dota 2 people, and it's not always a bad thing, it usually is, though. Very elitist, they expect a lot. They want everything handed on a silver platter. You know what I mean? So it's just something
sounds
good.
About right. I have to say, for me, for MLG, the actual like stream quality has been consistent, which is not something I can really say for Twitch.
Or Daily Motion.
I didn't notice this as much on your stream, but on the TKO stream, it looks really. Sometimes it just looks bad, even on like the higher quality settings. I didn't really notice that on yours.
Yeah, what they do, and this is stuff we're still talking to MLG about. Join Dota, I think, streams at 720 and they upscale to 1080. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I stream 1080, so there's no, you don't have to filter
scaling.
Legit.
But I think one thing that I want them to add, which I think they said they're going to be adding, which Twitch has, is 60 FPS. Right now they're limited to 30, which I don't know how big of a difference that makes for 1080p, because when I stream in 720p on Twitch, it is very noticeable the difference between 60 and 30 FPS. 60 FPS is so freaking smooth. But that's something we want to add in the future as well.
How is 48 frames per second? Because I was actually studying on my personal Twitch, and Coddle Guy told me 48 was pretty good. Yeah.
I use 48 for everything. It seems to be
Where
fine.
does that magic number come from?
I don't know.
I don't know. The Hobbit used it.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh.
Look at the kitty's face. Love the kitty.
That's actually one of the cutest things I think I've ever seen.
I know.
I'm super cute.
That's
he looks
amazing.
kind of terrified, though.
I know.
He's not terrible. He loves me.
He's gonna rip Elgato to shreds.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
Neil was supposed to make an intro video to him and his sister, but he's very lazy. They're named Monkey King Bar. Actually, MKB. So.
What do you? That's a short form of it. You call her MKB.
Well,
Nice.
the one cat's named Monkey. The other one is King Bartholomew, or King Bar for short.
I like that. That's good.
Clever.
Yeah.
That's good.
Everybody's
have,
gonna
like-
think we copied Ake, but
We're gonna have
he copied us.
like a studio pet battle between like
There's so many
Yeah.
studios
the
with
BTS
pets.
guys and the good studio. Like, it'll be a cat fight.
Where's my cat? I have a ragdoll.
You have
like
a cat
orange.
too?
You have a
Yeah.
cat?
I have a dog. That's not the same.
Where the hell is he? He's
My
somewhere.
dog's home.
If he shows up, I'll bring him on. I
I
got a
had no
cat.
idea you had a cat.
My wife is
How have I
trying
known
to
you
find-
for like a year and a half and not known that you've had a cat?
You would think
I
you
mean,
would
I'm-
mention this in casual conversation.
I'm wearing like a black suit, so it's gonna be amazing. But when my wife brings my cat to me, in
You
a
look
few
like
minutes,
Dr. Evil.
yeah, I know. Hello, Dr. Powers.
God damn it.
So let's move on to the next question while I'm waiting for the cat to show up.
My cat, dude. My cats are vicious. Not to go off on a tangent.
No, please do.
I have this. Where is it? The Dota 2 courier plushie,
Mhm.
the donkey. No, it's okay. And they both rip off the wings because it's detachable, and they just run around with the wings all day, like hiding them in places that we can't find them.
My
Just
cat's a male and
use-
wants to fuck everything. Like
You
I
gotta
had a
get that
cookie.
neutered, man.
Oh, he's a ragdoll. He's a breed. Like I have a Cookie Monster, like stuffed animal. I swear to God, he's like had carnal relations with that thing like 5 times. I haven't paid attention.
Jesus.
It's awesome.
I've had it like once. You and Cinder have an amazing chemistry as a duo, right?
Yeah, that's a
um,
great transition, by the way. Beautiful.
You're
segue.
welcome. But I would assume personally that Cinder would have went to like join Dota because him and Toby are like this apparently, but apparently not. They're like kind of like this, I guess. So how did the
Sort of
process?
segregated.
Yeah, I know. Like, how did like you get a hold of Cinder and then say, "Hey, fuck Toby and capitalist, especially capitalist,"
Oh, peace.
and how did you get him on board? Oh, hello, kitty.
Oh, kitten. Oh my
Oh,
God.
Oh my god!
That's a
Hey,
cute
fat dude.
cat, man.
That is
What's
a
up,
big
Dad?
cat. Wow.
It's a huge
What's up, fat dude? Get your fly to me. What's up, man? Huh?
I can't wait for my kittens to grow up huge.
Oh my god, that
Dude,
cat looks so
like
unhappy.
another cat.
He's 15. No, he's happy. He's always happy. He's like 15 pounds.
Oh
That
god.
cat like, definitely ate another cat at some point in life. Like,
I'll show you the camera. Hold on.
Mostly
All right,
fluff.
fat dude. Be nice.
This has become someone in the chat said this has become
Oh.
the cat wheel.
How you doing, fat man? How you doing?
Oh
Man.
my god. That's
Oh,
so
my
fluffy.
show right there.
Oh, yes.
Oh
all right.
my god.
you know, they say
I'll be
that
nice.
pets tend to fit their owners' personalities, and so far this has been very true.
Are
My
you-
cat is
why?
fat
You're-
and lazy.
I don't know. I feel like Sunsfan's cat is like
I feel like this is gonna.
it
run
looks like a
into-
hyper kind of cat, and you seem
Why am I
like,
wearing-
like an energetic kind of guy. Darius, your cat seems very just like he's just gonna kind of hang out, and Greg, your dog just farts a lot, and so
took a crap on my
everything
bed.
seems pretty on point so far.
Oh god.
All my animals were named after like Final Fantasy summons because I'm a fucking nerd, and I'm wearing a tie because I'm anti BTS. Oh, to answer chat. But anyway, the question was, how did you get Cinder and On? Because
Right.
I would have felt like as an observer outsider, you would have went with, he would have went with join Dota.
Yeah, well, I thought the same thing, but I remember when he retired, I was like, okay, any day now he's gonna join Dota or something like that. And actually, I guess a little backstory. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if this is a question later on, but I used to cast Heroes of Newerth. That's where I started casting. And again, we can talk about my history as far as where I come from, because there's no way that I can be considered a Han player considering how much Dota 1 and other games I've played. But anyway, where the hell am I getting with this?
Han
Think about
trash.
Cinderin.
On Trash, Cinderin. So I didn't want to come back to casting because I was thinking about it originally when Dota 2 came out if I wanted to cast Dota 2, but then YouTube just took over my life and not a whole lot of free time overall, I suppose you could say. And you need to be dedicated to casting if you want to freaking cast. Like, that's plain and simple. You can't really half-ass it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'll come back if the right situation comes about. And there was a couple scenarios in which that would be the case. And honestly, this is not even a joke. Cinderin was literally top of my list for reasons to coming back to casting if he was available. So I just had a casual conversation with him, like, why haven't you joined Dota or BTS or any other legit studio? And he's like, because they want me to relocate. So I'm like, okay, well, let's make something for ourselves. You don't need to relocate. You can live wherever you want. So that, honestly, it's as simple as that.
Yeah. And that's what Cap did. I mean, he had to move over to Berlin to cast with Toby, which is fine. You know, it's not. If that's what you want to do, it's fantastic. But some people don't really want to move across the world to especially when like the U.S. like NAdota is really starting to bloom, other than selling the website. It's
we'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get there in a few. If you haven't seen that Reddit thread. So Cinder was on BTS, and he has said that your goal with Dota Cinema is not to just do special things, but do it in a regular things in a special way, which has actually been kind of what you've done so far. Can you elaborate on that?
Not really. I mean, there's honestly.
I mean, I want a breaking news story, but that's.
I know. I really want to give it to you, but we don't. There's actually nothing to give, because we want to do another tournament, and that basically is just him saying that we want to do captain's mode. Like we don't want to pigeonhole ourselves to being the casting group that does kind of out of the box, that people are out of box casting, or tournaments that people don't necessarily take seriously. Although I feel like captain's draft shouldn't be that way. I think there are some people that do feel that way, but I don't think that is necessarily the case in general. But we want to be unique, which is very hard to do with captain's mode. So we're kind of brainstorming right now, but there's absolutely nothing set in stone. But essentially what he's saying is we want to do more legit stuff in the future as well.
Well, I feel like that it's been pretty legit. Sorry, Mason, go ahead.
I'm just gonna reiterate some stuff. Like, what I really like is, like, I feel like you guys, like Dota Cinema as an organization, like, when you do something and like you commit to putting out content and being the fails of the week or the captain's draft tournaments, like, you very much put your all behind it. And that's not to say in the least that like the other studios and other organizations don't, but like you can really tell that like if you guys are going to put something out there, it's going to be the absolute best that it can be. Like, that your VOD section was, under construction, under maintenance, in the works for, so long, but like when it came out, it's like, this is the real deal. And like it even shows on sort of a smaller level in the workshop sets that you guys have done with the Sven set, the new Black Death set for Pudge. Like, I feel pretty confident in saying that those are among the better sets that have come out of organizations. And I think it just goes to show, that point of when you guys do something, you want to make sure that it's done differently and done creatively, but still done right. And
yeah, I think
I personally appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate that, and I think especially for the workshop, we're trying to like push the boundaries of what people are used to seeing and what Valve is accepting in the game, and it's worked out so far. So.
How's it been working with Valve? Was it easy to get them to say, hey, listen, we had an idea. Pudge is going to become more bearded and more bald, kind of like me, over the years, and, over the games. What do you think? And was it easy to work with Valve? Were they kind of accepting these ideas?
Well, Valve is amazing. I can't even think of any other word, because well, first of all, it's obviously mutually beneficial partnership, right, for any of the workshop artists, because you're making them money, they're making you money. And for me personally, getting something in the game is like very humbling. Like seeing that somebody else using our set is just can't even explain the feeling. It's just unbelievable. But as far, are we talking about Pudge in specific here?
Sure.
And
I like talking about the Pudge set because you completely changed it.
Yeah. So the way the Pudge set started, we found Kunka and a random smiley face guy he helped us with the Sven set, and we wanted to do something like prisoner related. We didn't know exactly what we wanted, but we wanted to do a prisoner Pudge, and we wanted the beard, and of course this is us thinking outside the box. We wanted the beard to level in game, meaning like Tiny's ult, right?
Yeah.
Which I talked to Valve about, and they said they weren't 100% sure if they could do it, but it's something that they considered. They because a lot of times they had to add specific code to the game to actually make stuff like that work, and it's not exactly highest priority because they have so many things on their list and there aren't that many employees at Valve. And there was some miscommunication, we'll just say that, when we advertised that the beard would level in game, and honestly I think they felt kind of bad for us that we did that. We talked to them about perhaps doing a custom rot, and they seemed completely open to the idea. Like, they're really awesome. And we had a particle guy come on and do Well, actually, honestly, it started off as like a less hardcore version of the rot. It was more similar to the original rot, just a little bit redder, like yellow with red shades. And I'm like if we're gonna get custom rot in the game, let's just go all out. Let's do something like black with red highlights, like something that's just completely different, and just see if Valve is fine with it. And they essentially said that as long as the community is behind it, they'll put it in the game. So they've kind of become more flexible over time. And I know there's Reddit threads about specific sets from time to time, like why is this in the game, blah, blah, blah.
We're going to talk about that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the reality of the situation, I guess we can touch on it more later, is, I mean, Reddit, that's basically Reddit, you know, and that's fine. It's just the majority of people voted yes for this set. So, I mean, from Valve's eyes, that's the majority of the people, and that's really who you're trying to cater to. But as far as the Pudge set in particular, it was helpful to get... Well, actually, this was counterintuitive to some degree. The reason it became such a ridiculous set in the end is because we had a vote. And it's actually kind of a funny story. So the way we do sets in general is we have a vote on our YouTube on specific parts of the set. People can vote on what they want, right? So I was like, okay, this would be cool. Let's do like an alternate arm, alternate hook, and alternate offhand weapon, and come up with stories behind them. So for one story, it's like, because he's in prison for both of these stories, okay? One story is an escape path. He grapples his way up with his makeshift hook around the wall of the prison, and he gets barbed wire on and stuck on his arm and all that good stuff. And then the second story is he murders his way. He rips, like he's about to get executed from the like, this is just ridiculous, but he's about to get executed from the executioner. He rips off the guy's arm, kills him with his own executioner's axe, attaches his arm. It's just all hardcore. And what we found was people were like, I kind of like the items from the escape path, but I prefer the story from the murder. So I'm voting for the murder path. So at that point, we're like, okay, so this vote actually means nothing. Let's just do both. So that's Pudge in a nutshell.
Oh, that's funny.
I think like for the Workshop Weekly, I actually made up like a story about it, because like we have a Workshop Weekly article we do that I do, and I talked about it. It was like one of the ones, and I made an entire like little story about it because I'm pathetic apparently, and I need to find something to write. I mean, I have it up, but it's not very good. Yeah, time has marched on for Pudge, and it hasn't been kind to him. Locked deep in Darkmaw prison. Yeah, Pudge has been forced to eat a completely herbivore diet for years on end. The psychological and emotional toll has caused his hair to go white, but his skills in the battlefield never dulled. Finally able to break out of prison thanks to his buddy on the inside, the reincarcerated Slark and Michael Schofield from prison, from the prison show. Pudge is now free to feed like he never has fed before. And that's because
that's close enough. I think you did a good job. It's close enough.
That's about right.
I think Michael Schofield really added the story from Prison Break. But anyway.
People love their lore, man, in Dota. It's crazy.
I
Even
love
if it's
lore.
fake lore.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm missing part of the Dota. I like the hats, but like I don't care about any of the. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing part of my Dota experience. I don't know anything about any of the lores, which is actually amazing for how long I've been playing Dota.
I'm actually on the same boat.
I know nothing.
My favorite is the too long.
I know that Kunkka and Tide Hunter really fucking hate each other. Beyond that,
no, they kind of love each other too.
That's about all I know.
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship.
It's kind of like a love-hate, kill-fuck sort of.
Don't go! I love you. You know.
But, yeah, I like this set. The reason, I mean, I don't think you're going to have a problem with Reddit. Well, they haven't yet. Is just because it's like, I think it's still very in the flavor of Pudge. Like, it's still, I don't know, it still feels like Pudge to me. Even though it looks way different, it's still, you know, it still feels like Pudge. Something Pudge.
It's kind of hard.
The main concern is people were having theories that it would be confused with Slark ult. And at the end of the day, it's just like...
Not even close.
You see the Slark ult around a fat, disgusting mess. Like, how do you mistake for him?
Yeah, it's kind of tough to mistake the giant, shambling heap of flesh that he is. So.
Yeah. Well, also, the video, it's kind of unfortunate because we had to make the videos showing them, like, the rot off before the release. And Valve updated the effects. They actually look way better now. And they look, like, quite a bit different. I'd say they look better in-game.
I don't think that was a big contender on should I buy it or not buy it. I think if people are going to buy it, the entire package itself sells itself, even without the video.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we wanted to come out with, and from a business standpoint, if you guys are interested,
Yeah,
we were really pushing for this to come out before the Dendy Pudge set, because we know that people are going to go crazy for that set. It has a cool. I know the people that made it, of course, Danny Dem and Bronto Thunder. There's a. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all come down to taste. But the back piece, which is the shoulder, technically, has an animated crow, which hasn't been seen in Dota. So we're like, we have to compete with that somehow. We have to come out with. So the custom rot and the custom icons, which hasn't been done for any non-Valve related Arcana set, I think sets it apart. And we made sure that it was all connected to the face, the beard, so it wouldn't collide with people that want the Dendy Pudge set with the crow on the shoulder. So
Cool.
Nice. So we're going to move on to actually the Reddit questions we have. And the first is from Billion Shadows. What is the situation with you and Heroes of the Storm? You created Heroes Cinema. Is that going to be in a side project, an actual subsection of Dota Cinema to branch into?
It's well, first of all, I know a lot of people think that we're traitors, and it's kind of ridiculous at the end of the day if you really think about it, because everybody's come from different games. I mean, at the end of the day, I'll just give you my experience. I played 2 years of Han. I played, what is it, almost 3 years now of Dota 2, 4.5 years of Dota 1, and I've been playing Counter-Strike since 1990-freaking-9, 15 years of Counter-Strike off and on. So if anything, I'm a Counter-Strike player, okay? And I'm not ashamed of that. Heroes of the Storm, I wasn't quite sure. Like, when I first saw the footage way back when, like before BlizzCon, I was like, this game looks like garbage. It looks so bad. Like, this is just League of Legends. But Purge went to BlizzCon, played it, and I mean, Purge pretty much had the same outlook I did. But he played it, and he's like, it's actually quite fun. So I'm like, all right, let's just tentatively plan making a channel in collaboration with Purge, and just see how it goes. So we got into the alpha. I played it, and again, this is me still having a negative attitude, and this is not me pushing the game at all. Like it's up to whoever wants to play it. I actually find it fun. I think at the end of the day, when you look at the game, as long as you look at it as a casual experience, I think most people would find it fun. I think the problem with League, it has a lot of League mechanics, but from the few games that I played of League, it's like the game, it's not, forget about the companies behind them. When you play the game, League of Legends, it feels like they want to be like competitive. They want it to be esports related, and the way that their business model is made up is just, even though technically it is an esport, it's just, in my eyes, it's really not. You know, it's just really not, because it doesn't give a fair advantage to people that are just starting the game. You can't play all the heroes, all that stuff. But when I play this game, Heroes of the Storm, it's casual.
It's not
which
pretending to be
isn't a bad thing. Yeah, but it's not pretending to be competitive. It doesn't feel competitive in any way. Like, it's very team. It has a lot of team mechanics. Like, everything's about helping your team accomplish the goals. There's no last hitting. There's no like KSing. Everything is like global experience, global everything. Global. Is there gold? No, there's no gold either.
No gold. There's no items.
Yeah, global experience.
This sounds like a Dota that I can get behind.
So there's no reason that they can not thrive together. Like, they're completely separate games. They accomplish completely separate things. I've been finding myself playing both games,
How long
and
does
I don't
game
see what the
take?
problem with that is. It's less than, that's the other thing. It's like maybe 20, 25 minutes for a game.
So it's less than an average Dota game.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of the goals in the game are to push, you know? Like, some of the skills help you push down towers. Towers are so much easier to kill. The actual, like, you know, with, like, one of the game modes is a lot like Dire Tide. You collect certain stuff and you give it to something. But as a result of giving it, it's not just points. You get help from that computer mechanic, or whatever you want to call it, the CPU, and it helps you push down their towers and whatnot. So it's fun. I don't know. I mean, at first I was a little bit of ashamed of myself, to be honest, but I mean, game's fun. It's fun. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You can't really give it a fair shake until you sort of play it for yourself.
Are you okay with the prices of the heroes?
No, I think it's retarded. Absolutely retarded. I don't think
It
they
looks
should be bought.
slightly ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's kind of
insane.
weird. I mean, might as well just lump League of Legends with it too. It's weird to say that the game is free to play and then like make you fork over $10 to play a hero. Like,
But we're used to Dota. I mean,
but even like relative to what Blizzard has been moving forward with lately with games like Hearthstone, which is entirely free to play. Like, yes, you can spend money on it, and I mean, people will argue whether or not it gives you an advantage to get cards faster and blah, blah, blah. You know, people will go back and forth with that all day. But, like, when it comes down to it, like, you're not restricted from doing anything by not paying money. Now, maybe it'll end up being, like, what is it, a Riot points and Legend points, however the fuck that works out, where, like, eventually you can earn enough to buy it without money.
They have that, I believe, in the game. I've read that they have
in
like,
Heroes of the Storm.
Question.
Yeah.
How much do heroes cost in LoL?
I don't know, actually.
We should ask Nick. I don't know. We need to ask Nick.
I've never even installed League of Legends.
Hold on.
Someone in the chat
how
will
much do
probably
heroes
know.
cost in LoL?
I mean, I've installed it. I just don't remember what they were.
She spent $50 to get 20 heroes. That's actually pretty good.
Okay, so it's
That's an okay ratio. Well, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's way cheaper than like $10 a hero, however much it is. I was just
I
curious.
mean, you can gain gold in heroes. I mean, of course, it's alpha, so they might just redo everything. I think that because of the characters being so popular, because they're all just like the epic of the epic as far as
fucking Jim Raynor riding around on a horse and shooting shit, you know?
That bugged the crap out of me.
Which looks amazing, by the way. But if you just do cosmetics, like Dota 2, I don't see why they won't make enough money. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, a light brown Clydesdale with Jim Raynor in his marine armor, which I think would crush the back of a horse, but doesn't. Riding around, I don't know. It's just like it just bugged the crap out of me.
When I saw that, I like turned on a stream and I saw like Kerrigan riding a horse. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" I'm so confused.
The next question is like, have we played it? What do we think about it?
I haven't played it at all.
I have. What I was going to say before I sort of went on that tangent is that I haven't played it, but it's one of the times where Blizzard has failed to immediately wow me. Like, I suck at StarCraft, but when I first saw like StarCraft 2 come out for the first time, I was like, holy shit, this looks fantastic. Like when Hearthstone was still in closed beta, I was watching streams every single day without even being able to play the game. Like I was so excited to see it. And like Heroes of the Storm, like, I don't know, I was really excited to see what it would look like. And then, you know, it went into closed beta or alpha or whatever it is at this point, and people were streaming it, and I'm just like,
the engine also looks kind of crappy.
This just doesn't interest me. Like, it didn't have that feel that I've come to expect from their games, I guess.
Is it alpha or beta?
Technically it's alpha right now. I agree with you. From afar, when I looked at it, it did not look fun to me. It looked like Dire Tide, and I never liked Dire Tide, you know? After playing it, and as long as you can put your personal biases aside from all these League of Legends mechanics that you might run into, which I have no problem with because I don't like League of Legends, but it's not like I despise the community like some people. It's just fun. I don't know. Like I would say just try it because it's technically free to try. You know, once it comes out, and it's just more. You focus on teamwork just way more than any other game because there's no like if you have somebody doing their own thing, you're gonna lose essentially, which you can say about Dota a lot of the time, but you share experience. So it's not like you can have one guy carry the team in this game.
With Heroes, like, to me, there's this very big pull from the nostalgia factor, right? Because I'm looking at Jim Raynor, I'm looking at Kerrigan, and I played StarCraft back then. I never said it was good, but I played StarCraft when I was like 15, 16 with my friend, and you have all these different characters, that, like, I like, and I really want to play the game because I dig the characters. So the nostalgia factor is what's dragging me closer to it. But as a competitive esport, I don't feel it's legit at all.
I don't even know if they're trying to make it that, though.
I don't think they are. I mean, yeah, and it looks good.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. But I was a big StarCraft player, but I like only played multiplayer, so the characters like don't even mean anything to me. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, like, I'm one of the few people that didn't play Diablo.
I didn't play Diablo either. I feel like I've missed out on the single-player experience of life.
He's the first character I got in Heroes of the Storm. Like, I paid for with my gold or whatever. And he's pretty legit, not going to lie. I mean, watching him ride a horse is amazing as well.
I mean, why would you not want to play as the Lord of Hell, you know? Like,
it's true.
On a horse. I mean, so we're actually gonna get to the topics. So we're kind of running way behind schedule, I feel. Sigma and the restart happened today, which is the only thing different we have than fucking BTS because they showed up to the show. God bless them. I love you, K-pop Toast, if you're in chat. But in the Dream League match from earlier, Sigma was taking on Roxkiss, and Fada mistakenly like misclicked, misskilled his Shadow Fiend, and just left, right? And then Sigma asked for remake, and the admin asked if he couldn't reconnect, which Sigma Paris said yes. And then he had said he was rehosting it, and then actually Paris informed everyone that fought a misclicked, and Go Black, lost his shit a little bit because you can't blame him. But at that point, yeah, I mean, they were roshing, and they let him know because they were concerned about, somehow Sigma learning about this, because it's already on stream. It just takes one thing. And so I'm assuming that's why he actually announced it. And there's a chat log.
Wait, what did you say? Why do you think he announced it?
Because it's easy to find out about them actually roshing and ruining it.
Someone would have told Sigma that they were roshing.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know who, but it's entirely possible.
It literally could just be a random person, too, just being, tweeting at them, and they check them between games, and they're like, oh, shit, they're roshing.
Yeah. So at that point, it was, he just said it just to get it out there. Yeah. And there's an entire chat log you can find on Reddit we have up in our notes, but it's not that important. So, and they had said they were going to go check Roche, but if you actually looked at, the mini-map, they weren't anywhere near.
They didn't say they were going to check Roche in game. Mad tweeted that they were going to check Roche.
Yeah, they were going to, but
they didn't really look like they were going to.
No,
I don't know. So here's my opinion on this. I actually have a pretty strong opinion on this. I mean, remakes for things that happen before creep spawns, or anything significant happens, like you're just sitting in the well, happen all the time. I mean, I've been in games where there's been remakes for someone bought 2 couriers, back when it was way easier to buy 2 couriers, and just random stuff like that. And the biggest problem for me is that they should have just given Roxkiss free Roche. The admin should have just said go Roche, because what Go Black's concern was, I think, was completely valid. It's so easy if they remake when they're in the middle of roshing that someone just tells Sigma that they rosh, and it obviously looks very suspect if they just walk over there and they're like, oh, look, they're roshing. All 5 of them arrive at the rosh pit. But I mean, I think it's the admin just has to be you just try to recreate the game to the best of your ability. So if they're roshing and it's clear that Sigma's not going to check, I mean, it's pretty obvious, I think, that, I don't know, it's just it's a stupid.
Should they have given him the rosh though as a start?
Think so. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at that map, this comes down to the admins have to have the balls to make decisions, and this is a problem for a lot of tournaments that an opponent's late, and sometimes this doesn't really happen as much anymore, but it used to be well, do you want to give them a game loss? And it's yes, you want to fucking give them a game loss, but you're not going to say that.
Yeah.
So it's the admins just have to be a lot stricter. I don't know, it drives me insane that I just thought it was handled pretty poorly, honestly. I mean, I know that sounds bad because it's Dream League, but it actually has nothing to do with any of their, any of Bruno, any of the production people.
Yeah.
It's a completely separate set of admins. It's people that actually do DreamHack. And, I mean, I think you just need to, I don't know, make a better decision. It seems weird to me that they wouldn't just give them a free Roche. I mean, I guess you could say maybe they'll check it or whatever, but
I think you punish them after the fact, because we had something similar happen in our tournament, actually, which I just found about today after this thread, or with this thread. Navi was in our tournament, and whoever it was going mid bought a null talisman, and then apparently they found out, okay, I'm not going mid, so let me sell the null talisman. So he sold it right away, and he got half the gold because it wasn't in time. So then they said,
you guys were right back 1 second.
They didn't say that what happened. They just said
yeah,
we need to remake, and then they left.
Yeah.
So I didn't learn about that today. I don't know if anything's going to happen. I doubt it. But in this terms for Sigma Int, I think the biggest issue was miscommunication with the admins, because they didn't tell them that they misclicked. Well, they said misclicked, but they didn't say that they had leveled that skill, and that's the reason that they're remaking. I think they implied the fact that he couldn't reconnect. Is that correct? Am I wrong in that?
They kind of did, and then they kind of fixed it.
Yeah. So from the admin standpoint, I don't blame them too much, because they didn't know the whole situation. But I think after the fact now, I don't know what you can punish them for. But yeah, you're right. Tournaments need to be way more strict, and that was one of the things that we were going to start doing with this tournament. That was my main emphasis. Is I hate it when tournaments bend to the teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's
like bending to their will.
Yeah, for the teams, the players individually, it's just a slap in the face to the sponsors, it's a slap in the face to the organization, it's a slap in the face to their organization. So it's just, there's no excuse, really.
Yeah, and I mean, I do place a lot of blame, I think, on Sigma just not handling the situation well, because they're honestly I mean, you might just say they're not used to, the strictness of like newer tournaments, and because honestly, like I was casting like 2 years ago, and I was casting. This is actually kind of a funny story. So I was casting Ghost League, and PGG's team was in it, and we like implemented a rule that was, and casting schedules used to be a fucking disaster. Like teams were always late, there was always problems, and Ghost League implemented a rule that if your team was 15 minutes late, you'd get a game loss. And like if your whole team wasn't there for whatever reason, 15 minutes after this time that you agreed on, you would get a game loss. And PGG's team only had 4 people at 15 minutes, so the admin said, okay, you're going to get a game loss. And at that point, he was like, alright, I'm leaving Ghost League. And then he's literally like, the whole team left the league. And now rules are a lot stricter, like that happens now. So it's just, teams have to adjust, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of bullshit to say that a team is not prepared to deal with strict rules. Like, if you're signing up for a tournament in which
not
the end
like
result,
on purpose, I don't think. Just like
right, but like I don't know. If you're signing up for a tournament in which the end result is like multi-thousands of dollars, don't bullshit, And like I know it's easy to say the other way around, that when there's that much money on the line, you don't want to just bend to the rules and say, okay, you're right, we're just going to get a game loss and then really hurt your chance at winning. But at the same time, you can't be surprised when somebody has to bring the hammer down on something that happens poorly. And to play devil's advocate to Suns fan for a second here, there was a comment in that thread which I thought was interesting, and I wanted your take on it. He said something along the lines of, the reasons that admins are hesitant to come down this hard is, 1, they don't want to look like the bad guy, and 2, the organizations rely on these teams for income. Like, without them, you're not going to have a tournament. Without a tournament, no one's making money. The scene's not getting better, however you want to deal with it. Like, when you look at something like the Barclays Premier League for soccer, the players and the teams depend on the league for money. And it doesn't really work that way with Dota. The leagues are depending on the players and the teams to sign up. Mm-hmm. So, how do you feel about that? You say, like, no bullshit, we're not dealing with this. Like, what it is what it is. You can't get around it. You can't bend to these teams. But would you say that there is a real dependence on being able to let them get their way sometimes?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good point. I mean, overall, as far as our situation is concerned, I don't know what we're going to do, but probably nothing at this point because it's just way after the fact. But
yeah,
you're right. They do depend on that. And God, what was I going to say? I was going to say something. Very, very good comment. I was going to say it's very smart and intellectual and all that good stuff.
Make it great.
Yeah, it was going to be so good. Well, shit. All right, somebody talk about something else for a second.
My
mind goes off on its own thing.
I can understand what you're saying, but I just when leagues do shit like this, like it's just not like you have to enforce the rules, and this might have been a misunderstanding, but I don't know. You
were saying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No,
you were saying that organizations are afraid they'll look bad. I think it's the complete opposite, which is the reason I was actually very excited to have very strict rules, because I think there'd be posts all over the place saying, good job, Dota Cinema, for having strict rules and not bending your will to these players, because sometimes they can be very unprofessional. I mean, these are professional players. If you misclick Shadow Fiend skill, I'm sorry. You stick with that. That's pathetic. It happens to everybody. Everybody makes mistakes. It's perfectly fine. But you got to live with your freaking mistakes. It's not. I mean, what's the difference from the start of the game and the middle of the game? Just because nobody's technically done much. I mean, you gotta. As long as the organizers are aware of what happened, which that was the problem with the Sigma thing, they weren't aware. Then I think they come down hard. I make them play, and that is obviously crippling with the Shadow Fiend getting passive, because I mean that's a hero you have to get off to a good start. That's crippling. But still, that's their own mistake. I don't know.
I think I would not be surprised if there were some kind of consequences for this, especially because like Mad was like not shit talking on Twitter, but I don't know. It was not a pleasant situation. I mean, is I guess what I'll say, but I don't know. I guess I've spoken my mind about this. So I mean, the good news is that Rock's Kiss won anyway. Dude, imagine if fucking Sigma had won the remake. Holy shit. There would have been some really nasty shit. I'm kind of sad it didn't happen, to be honest, but yeah.
Alright, well, we'll move on to Greg's greatest sadness. last week we touched upon it, but right afterwards, like the next day, it was confirmed Dota 2 will not be at MLG Anaheim. And honestly, like, MLG's actually taking the high road on this one.
Oh, easy.
I mean, it's. Easy. I mean, they kind of got screwed. They already moved their event once, and they still got boned, and that's upsetting to me because they've really done a lot for the U.S. scene.
I mean, how much do I want to talk about? It's basically, I feel like, I don't know. Never mind. I'm not even gonna. Never mind.
All right. Well, it will be featured.
I'm fucking sad that Dota 2 is no longer at Anaheim because I was really looking forward to the event. I love going to LANs. It's like my greatest pleasure. It's like the most fun thing in the world. Get to hang out with everyone that you only get to see like a couple times a year, and I'm sad as hell that it's not going to be happening. But I don't understand why they're the ones that have to. I mean, basically what I'm saying is I think there's a reason that they're the ones that chose to back up, kind of. I don't know.
Well, I think because a lot of teams weren't going to come. Like, there was so many things in Europe versus here, other than TI, that if they were going to cut something, cutting the U.S. one would be a lot easier than cutting the two European
ones. There's another
ones.
U.S. one, though, that just got announced yesterday.
Well, Navi just likes the money.
But the MLG tournament was like, I don't know. This drives me fucking insane. I mean, part of me thinks that MLG just like wasn't pleased with how the NA scene was happening or something like that, and they're like, all right, well, we'll just this is convenient, we'll peace. But that's probably not true. That's just me being very cynical. But
I don't know. I mean, what is the blame? But I mean, what does the blame lie? I mean, I feel like
I think it's a combination of Valve and all of
these
tournament organizers. Not DreamHack, not MLG, because those were announced like a fucking year ago. Yeah. But the fact that ESL like shoved their dick right in the middle of that is just like, goddamn. I thought that was pretty fucked up. Sorry, Kenneget.
But from from an outside perspective, and at the end of the day, the International is the main event of the year. It's just plain and simple. And if they have to move the date, which they had to, it's going to cause issues like this, which is unfortunate. And I think the main reason they had to do that is because if you have it at Benaroya Hall again this year, which it's been great.
It's a great venue. I love that venue.
But so many people couldn't go because it was in that venue, and I think it's more important to put it in a stadium like Key Arena or wherever they end up going. And if the schedules don't work out, they don't work out. It's unfortunate that because I know they don't start planning TI, or at least last year they said they didn't plan TI until March.
They're horrible.
Which would be this month.
That's
time, bad.
Dude. Fucking Valve time. It blows my mind they wait that long.
For like one of the biggest things, like I was sitting there trying to get tickets last year, and those 2 hours were probably the worst 2 hours of my very short life. All right, and I mean, I think Greg and Mason can attest. I was absolutely rip shit mad by the end of the 2 hours trying to get tickets. I had them, I didn't have them. I had them, I didn't have them. I'm at work, not doing my job, trying to buy tickets.
Don't sell yourself short, Darius. It's been a very long life for you.
But I don't know.
Old man Dar.
I agree. Like, you kind of have to bend around the will of the International because it's the event that everyone ultimately cares the most about. But
and like, what can you say? So Valve, I know you guys made this game and stuff, but fuck you guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I just it gets frustrating when things like this happen that are, I think, avoidable. I'm mostly just angry and venting. But.
We need to have a peace summit. We'll send everybody over to the GD studio.
I can drink a lot of whiskey.
James will get them all rip shit drunk.
A hot tub or something.
There'll be hugs and hot tubbing, and everything will be okay for next year.
Yeah.
But. Just casually have a bottle of JD by your computer, and it's pretty good.
I do actually. It's
the only way he makes it through these shows.
I know, it's St. Patty's Day. It really is how it's supposed to be. I usually like in the beginning of the show, we actually drank every episode, and then we actually kind of got a little more serious. But it's St. Patty's Day.
I like nap every day now, so I can't like if I get up and immediately drink like whiskey or something, I feel like a bad person. So now I drink tea instead. It's not nearly as
Does casting lower your lifespan? That's what I've found.
Probably.
And it destroys
so
my bowels.
Fucking stressful. Dude, it's so fucking stressful. You're like, oh god. Especially, I've found like if you fuck up like with anything, the rest of the cast is just a fucking disaster. Like, it's just this horrible snowball. Like, if you forget to, like, change an overlay or something, like, for the rest of the cast, everything you're thinking about is like, did I fuck that up? I don't know.
And then you just wait for the crucifixion the next day.
Yeah.
And then if you're lucky, Reddit gets a thread about you. But
yeah. And you get in my sight.
But it's RIP MLG Anaheim. But the good news is that there's still going to be another event in June.
Yeah. They'll be doing stuff still yet with Dota too. They're not done with it. A lot of the questions were, "Are you going to come back to Dota?" Yeah, they're doing more Dota. It's going to make them money. I mean, obviously. Now, yesterday we were supposed to have a show, and Greg's internet died. And actually, luckily, it did, because the BTS show premiered yesterday, and I thought it was going to make an hour, maybe 2 hours.
I think it's normally going to be that long. I think it's normally going to be about an hour to an hour and a half. But they like announced a lot of shit and stuff.
Yeah, they did a lot that episode. It was like 3 hours. And by that point, like it was like 8,000 people, and we would have like me, Mason, and Greg just streaming it basically, and checking out the episodes. So it was a happy accident that actually the internet died for Greg. So they brought their show out in the studio. I figured Beyond the Studio would be an amazing, name for it, but I'm not part of the marketing.
Right, that is a better name than In the Studio.
I know. I'm Beyond the Studio is.
K-pop take notes.
Yeah,
I know, but they got a new studio, right? And they debuted it in this kind of crib style, shitty music with like.
Dude, I actually really liked the Cribs video.
I was great. Zyori dressed up like a rap star and took everybody around the house.
Dude, I thought it was like pretty funny. There was some funny shit in there.
It was a good thing. I didn't like the music though, but I love everything else. Like, yo, girl, let me holler at you. Check out Merlina's bedroom here.
Dude, what the
Please
fuck?
never
Merlina's
say those
bedroom
words
is
again.
So nice. Oh my god.
Please,
really good house.
Please hold on.
Yeah.
Never do that again.
Mason, let me holler at you.
Never. I will quit right here, right now.
Photo guy, we have a spot open for you.
Wow, would you jump in my grave that quick?
Yes.
Yeah, but they have a new studio. It looks sick as fuck. I'm super jealous.
It did, and they did a great job in the show. I mean, they really did. It was an amazing production. Zyori did an amazing job. I was talking to him after the show. He felt like, he could do better, but that's usually how people are. And they did an amazing job in the show. It was 10 out of 10.
There was a couple like things that I noticed that weren't like perfect, but the reason I was casting Starlighter yesterday was because they were finishing the studio. So if everything's not perfect, give them another week. I'm sure it'll get better and better.
Yeah.
But literally, they said, "Can you cast tomorrow? We need to put together a fucking studio." So, I mean, that's that. And I don't know. I was really impressed. That desk is fucking awesome. Oh my god!
I'm gonna steal that desk.
I want that desk in my house. It's awesome.
It was a good desk. They did a great job with it, and I'm happy for him because I already did the radio show beforehand, and he went out there, and we had heard that they were trying to do something like that, and so we're excited about it. So this is our last episode, everybody. I hope you had a good time. We can't compete with that. We need an Indiegogo project here.
If you give us your money, we're probably just going to spend it on liquor, but we'd appreciate it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get more jacked, but I mean, I'll put a banner up behind me. It looks like Dota. But did a great job. And so, like, they announced, though, the big thing was, like, kind of a Home Story Cup-esque tournament called the Summit. And it's a $50,000 tournament, which means they've been hoarding money.
Plus, it's like a crowdfunded tournament, too. I didn't really understand the specifics of that, mostly because I didn't read the thread, but it's like crowdfunded in some way. Is it through just ticket sales? That's what I assumed.
I got an idea. Should we ask K-Pop Dosis?
No, the delay is going to take forever. I think it's just ticket sales, isn't it? Maybe it's not. I don't know, but that's what I assume it is.
I think it's 25% of the ticket sales go to the prize pool.
Okay, so it's just like a normal... Nothing.
Which is the same for our tournament,
Yeah.
But they don't have any, as far as I know they have some side sponsors, but the actual 50K, I'm assuming, is coming from BTS. So, they're doing well.
Okay.
LD, go replace
I could be mistaken.
van. I have to imagine... No way. Okay, well, we'll investigate that later, but I have a feeling...
I could be wrong, but...
I mean, they can't be doing bad. I mean, I remember talking to... I remember watching that cunt, Richard Lewis, with... I'm sorry, I came out. With James, and James was actually talking about, like, because Richard was like, "Will you give out what you had for, tournaments and the money?" And James was like, "Well, yeah, all right, $48,000 from Alienware. We had done that." And he fucking ripped him to shreds. It was amazing. It was like one of the best interviews I've watched in my life. And he actually went through the amount of money that they got from each tournament they did, and it was a fair amount of money. So you figure Beyond the Summit's been going on over a year at this point, and they've been doing relatively well. I mean, Christ, they're at this point broadcasting 24 hours a day. We know this because Greg's been up since 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. I mean, especially with Starlight, they've been casting all the time.
It really has. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they've been doing amazing. They really have, and I'm really happy about that too, because U.S. has really needed some kind of studio that took a hold of everything and kind of brought us forward versus the European scene. But I'm really happy for them. So they got DK and Na'Vi invited. It's from June 5th to 8th. That Gods had said they're going to try to invite
they
media
invited Alliance,
to it.
and Alliance also turned it down. I think that's notable mentioning.
Yeah.
Which doesn't surprise me. I know Alliance is very picky, and plus they won TI, so they don't really need
and
the
they're
money.
busy. Yeah. So we're going to invite media to come in, so we're going to try to ship Greg over there. I don't know how, but we're going to try to get him in there.
Box.
What do you guys think about all the teams competing in so many tournaments before TI, as opposed to last year where you saw almost nothing because they were all boot camping?
I'm not happy about it, honestly.
It's going to be
they have a much harder time hiding their strategies now.
And the other thing is, I kind of liked heading into TI, not really knowing who was the best Western team, what has their boot camps done. I feel like if we had I feel like the equivalent would be if we had TI next week with a break, I would still probably be pretty convinced that Empire would roll all of the Western teams because they seem to be playing on another level. And without that break in there, I'm not sure that kind of there's not really going to be a change. Alliance was pretty good up until TI last year, and they were doing okay. They won DreamHack or whatever, but they were not nearly as dominant as going 14-0 in the group stages.
Right.
So
yeah.
I think
a lot of it, part of it has to do with the patches too.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a patch
yes,
somewhat right before
recently.
TI, a month or two, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Big
think
one,
hopefully
too.
they do that again. I kind of like that. Shakes it up a little bit. It's
Yeah.
the new season of Dota. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
So we'll move on here. I have a question. Suns fan, I know that the tournament you're running is kind of new, but do you have $52,000 hanging around, just lazing about? Because if you do, you can be the proud owner of NAdota.com.
Oh my
Apparently.
goodness.
Apparently. I mean, this
That
is all
sounds
rumored.
so enticing. I don't know.
With all
With all of its privileges and
it comes
user base,
with all of the wonderful users and
such
moderators
as Oxen
and Arteezy fan
Grand
fiction, and banned from Google AdSense.
You can
Is it
inherit-
really?
Oh yeah.
Yep. There
Oh,
was
that's
some
so
adult,
hilarious.
there was adult
So it's like a
content.
non-profit organization.
Basically.
Can
Oh,
we
that's
sign
right.
NAdota up as a non-profit
Oh my
organization?
god.
with a couple thousand redheaded stepchilds you're going to have to take care of at the same time.
I guess non-profit and zero profit are probably two different things, huh?
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's a lot of non-profit
crazy.
organizations that make a lot of
Wait,
money.
what? Okay, can you explain why? I've never
They
heard that
had
before. That's banning it.
there was like some content that was not behind a proper are you 18 or are you registered or something that was just accessible if you went on the website. So they got banned from AdSense, and they tried
Surprise.
to remove it and stuff or removed it or whatever, but their appeals never fixed. So now they're using ad choices or something. And I'm sure the fill rate is not as good as AdSense because AdSense is the best.
Coddle Guy, very good reminder. You do own Grand Grant when you buy the site. You have to feed and water him and take him out for walks twice a day.
I love Grand Grant, so we'll have to,
I actually
that
really
makes it
like
a little more
Gregor.
enticing.
Gregor gets a lot of flame, but I don't know. I mean,
Is it true, though? Is it true?
I
Greg.
would say
Come on,
Greg.
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 yes is my unbiased, not informed opinion. Yes
Why-
is what
why
I
do you
would
think-
say.
Why would you hypothetically think that he was selling it? I mean, you don't have
Um,
information that we may know about, but hypothetically, why do you think he would sell it?
Because the site is a lot of trouble, comes with a lot of bad PR. and Spitwad would like to make some semblance of money off of Dota. I mean, I don't think that's maybe, I don't know, maybe if people don't know Spitwad, but he's a great, like, that's not a dig or anything. He's a great guy, but something that I do want to note is that Neo is completely not a part of that listing. That's different. So if you guys think NeoDota and NAdota are the same thing, they're not. But the site does have a shitload of traffic. So they're just not making. They're just not making any money because they're not on AdSense. But the metrics were like 875K for 3 months. That's like a very substantial.
That's a large amount of
viewership. That's enough.
Yeah, but are they going to sell this?
Money. But okay, so it was an auction. It was an auction at $8,000, and you could buy it for $50,000. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who the fuck wants to buy NAdota. I don't want to buy NAdota.
Well, from what people said,
I'm sure just would be.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about AdSense, but basically people were saying that if somebody picks up a site as a new owner and sort of appeals to Google, then there's a pretty decent chance that you can get back on the AdSense track.
Depending on the price,
sounds like a lot of loopholes there.
Yeah.
However, if you could do it, it's probably no small amount of pocket change,
Yeah, I mean, 800,000 page views is enough to get a substantial amount of like ad revenue. That's a decent amount. Even if like 80% of your users don't see ads, it's still like enough to make it profitable in the eventual future if you can get it for not 50,000 for like
the demographics. Yeah, I would agree.
So that's.
I mean, I went through like the Hall of Fame like NAdota threads, and I mean I laughed my ass off, but I could see how they could be banned from AdSense. I guess.
Well, I mean, the problem, it has nothing to do with the content on the website. Like,
it's just
I'm sure like fucking like Pornhub or whatever is on AdSense, but it's just
I wouldn't know. I'm too busy.
It was just the way that it just like wasn't hidden, like it wasn't filtered correctly. Like you didn't have to press "I'm okay with seeing this image," basically. But, I mean, I can see some investor buying it and getting it off AdSense and like making money in like a year or something. If you have a lot of money, it might be something you're interested in. I mean, there's literally a website where you can buy other fucking websites. I'm sure it's something that people do. I'm poor, so I don't do that.
So what I'm hearing is that we should somehow scrape together maybe 10 grand and buy NAdota.
Nope. I want to see what the NAdota people think about this. I like glanced around.
There's a thread,
There was a thread on NAdota about it?
Yeah. It's under the off-topic section.
I'll read it later then. All right. Well,
that's going to
read it right now.
That's going to be fun for days.
I can't wait, actually.
There was nothing notable out of it yet. Nothing more exciting yet that came out of it.
I am under the impression that it is, in fact, that is like a true thing. Like, Spit is apparently selling it. So.
But do you feel like? I mean, do you feel like that? I mean, not to talk shit about Spit, but do you feel like the people that have been supporting NAdota and
they're not supporting Spit. He makes like no money from Dota.
Right, but don't you feel like at the very least these people that have come and partaked of his website and actually helped.
I think I'm about to get yelled at. Hold on. Hold please. I need to go get a different computer.
As Greg is being yelled at, do you feel like he should be saying, "Hey guys, listen, by the way, I'm putting the site up," because he is the father of NAdota theoretically, and you feel like he should say something. Now, we've had Spit on the show before, and this isn't bad-mouthing him. This is just me saying, like, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I would theoretically, if I had a big site, I would, like, put out a post saying, "Hey, guys, by the way, I'm selling it. This is the reason why," instead of, like, seeing a Reddit post. And I don't know how fucking people find this stuff. Like,
I don't know
who goes and finds this? I mean, I'm sure he wasn't expecting to be found, but at the same time, it's going to be found out eventually. I mean, I feel like he should have been like, "Hey, by the way, I'm selling the site. This is the reason why," instead of just having this happen. But Spit's also someone that doesn't really talk publicly that often, as far as I know.
He's actually pretty shy, dude.
He's pretty private and shy. So I guess I don't have really a point to it, but I just feel like a post would have been nice. I mean,
never mind. Not getting yelled at. We're good.
I mean, he can come on and yell at me if you'd like.
No, it wasn't Spit. It was someone else.
Right.
But it's fine.
Okay, he just said his heart jumped in his chest for a second. Oh no, it's the father of Dota.
But yeah.
So that's my take on it. Spitwad is not Pendragon, so you know. That came out of chat. I saw it briefly as I was switching windows.
But I don't know. It's like I I can't blame him. Like, sometimes you just want to, like, put a project to bed or something, and...
Yeah.
I mean, it's a profitable website, and I think if you had AdSense, it would actually be decently profitable, so... I mean, I would try to sell it, probably. I'd do the same thing.
I'd buy it.
I would do the same thing.
Had I money lying around, sure, why not?
Yeah, if I had 10 grand of disposable income, I would probably buy an NAdota just for the novelty, because that site is hilarious. I love it.
I don't think I want that responsibility. All right, so our final topic is actually, like, we touched based on briefly earlier, and it's about custom items. And something, I mean, I do workshop weekly every week, so I see every week. So I've seen a lot of unique sets that came out of workshop, but many of them are kind of out there. Color scheme changing, variants come with packaged with tournaments, for example. And it seems like you get a free ride to do whatever you'd like, whether it's like different colors or different, let's say bad textures. Like we've had a lot of shitty items come out of tournament packages that have just shown up. Right, couriers and just kind of odd sets, like the Phantom Lancer, and like this week we had the Phantom Lancer Anubis set. People were all up in arms about, and then we had the Vanxor Silencer set, which is amazing. But when you look at like the blue version of it,
literally looks like fucking Dragonite.
I know Dragonite. I don't know who it was. Like the blue, like the purple and like yellow one. I think it's purple and yellow. Actually, I could see it being Silencer, but the blue one, I had no clue who it was supposed to be until I saw it, and so. It didn't look anything like him.
I mean, I think this kind of comes down to what I was saying earlier. Like, the reason I like the DC Pudge set is it looks like Pudge. Like, it feels like Pudge. It looks like Pudge. You know, it's just like, I don't know. It seems like a Pudge, like that's something Pudge would do. This just seems like someone wanted to make Silencer look nice. I don't know.
I mean, Silencer looked amazing, and even in like the purple and yellow version,
even the purple one like doesn't really look like Silencer.
No, I can see Silencer in that one. If you look at I'm gonna click the link.
I don't even know how they thought the blue one was okay though. It looks just
the blue one's like crazy. It really was, but I like it.
Both made by our good friend Robo.
Yeah, it's an amazing set. It's like yellow and purple, and the Silencer one looks like Silencer. The blue one does not look anything like it, but that's why he probably put in 2 different versions of it. He's not dumb, obviously, but the
animations are sweet. Holy shit.
But is he really that insane? Because if you think about it, slowly but surely the workshop guidelines have been destroyed. Like, it's supposed to like that silhouette. It's supposed to have this. It's supposed to have the same color scheme. We'll fix that too.
Well, I guess
it's been slowly going away from the guidelines, and at this point, it's almost
like you have to draw the line somewhere, though, right? Like, where's the line?
The line is completely invisible and imaginary at this point. Well, so I honestly, from my perspective, I don't care. Like, as long as like I can understand people's perspective where they want it to make sure that when you look at a hero, you can tell it's them. I'm fine with that general guideline, which of course there's no exact line for it. The Silencer one, I mean, again, Robo May both. I'm good friends with him. The Silencer one's probably too far for me because, I mean, I work with the workshop all the time, as you guys know, and I didn't think it looked like. I didn't know it was Silencer at first.
I had to click it.
Especially with the helm down. I mean, nothing like Silencer.
Yeah.
But the Anubis one, I love the Anubis one. Maybe I'm a sucker for Egyptian lore, but I think it looks awesome, and I can tell that's Phantom Lancer. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I didn't mind the Anubis one nearly as much as this one. I think the Anubis one was like, I don't know, it was.
I mean, I think it just looks kind of silly.
Dude, there was a fucking cowboy hat in this game at one point. Remember that, please.
I mean, we still have the cat ears. We still have the cat ears.
Cat ear drow, so you know. I don't know.
But I mean, at this point, we're starting to go further and further from the workshop guidelines, if you will. And I feel like almost like everything that comes with a tournament or made for a pro player is going to show up at this point. Now, the Silencer one, it might be just the yellow-purple version, but I feel like as soon as you get that, it's just going to happen. Like, T. Vidoto made, like, you know, the Phantom Assassin Alliance set with a scythe, which I love. I own it. But that's starting to go further away from what PA is. Now, mind you, can you tell it's PA? Of course. But it's slowly going further and further from these guidelines that we had of like silhouettes and colors and all that.
Something that Valve is going away from is the silhouette stuff. I think that's completely out the window.
Yeah, I agree.
Which I'm fine with, because the silhouette isn't nearly as important as just actually visually looking at the hero from when you're actually just playing it from a top-down view. If if you can tell that that is supposed to be a specific hero, then I think that's fine. And of course, it's hard when you don't have hard rules to actually abide by. Because people are like us, we're just gonna try some crazy ass shit to see if it gets in, because it does sell more. At least you would assume so, based on what's been on top sellers and all that good stuff. So, you can't blame the artists here.
I don't blame the artists. Not even.
You can't blame. I mean, Valve, you can't blame either, because they're making money off of this as well.
I just blame if you voted in. Then you're a fuck.
I don't even care. Like,
then you're a fuck.
My problem is with. It's mostly been couriers that have been added through some tournaments that are just like blatantly very poorly done. Like the We Play courier as a nice standout.
But Chipmunk one or whatever.
Justin Bieber.
Bieber, yeah.
And I know that was remedied, but there's been some other somewhat questionable ones as well. And
I wanted to
you know, if you want to try to put a mecha silencer into the game, and people like it, but somebody at Valve says not so much, that's fine. Roll with it, because if it gets through, I would buy the fuck out of that set, like in a heartbeat. But if you're gonna put something in, just make it not shit.
I just hope it doesn't become like TF2, where there's like Apple earbuds and fucking Dota.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that's ever gonna happen. I don't think it's ever gonna get to that point. But I feel like it's just like they're just continually towing the line until it becomes that. I don't know. It
slippery slope syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like in Han, there was like that. There was a hero that had like the jukebox or whatever as one of the skins.
Is that Rhapsody?
Yeah.
The fact that I remember that name disgusts me. Maybe it wasn't Rhapsody.
I vaguely remember that hero, but there was one that literally replaced something with like a jukebox. I don't know. I'm sure. Whatever. Anyway.
Well, I think what it comes down to, people, what do they actually want? Like, do we care if the sexes are changed for heroes? Like, if there's a male Lena, as an example.
Rule
like
63 or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
That would have to be something that I would see.
You know?
I don't really.
The male Lena won't sell. The female, everything else will.
That is true. That's a good point. So a female Rubik.
Female Axe?
Yeah.
Oh,
female Axe.
Right, well.
I've seen that. I've fapped that. I mean, I've seen it. No, but I mean, to me, it's like I have a different opinion on it, because a lot of people are very purist in this, and I've watched a lot of the workshop, and I feel like something like Doom. Let's take Doom. How many sets of Doom have you seen that actually make an impact in terms of design?
There's a couple heroes like that. They just all look the fucking same.
Shadow Demon, Doom. I mean, like, it's when you buy these sets, you want to spend your money on items that are going to be like shown off, right? That's why you buy these items. Like, hey, look at my IX Mike Crystal Maiden
mustache.
I got that set. That's fucking sweet.
Yeah, and it's like, and you want to show us off, but when you see Doom, right, and it's like different variants of his wings and his sword, and it's all red based, which is supposed to be the color scheme, no one wants to buy that. It just doesn't sell that well. But if you take something like a crazy out there design, like League of Legends, like has all like Princess Ashe, regular Ashe, so on and so forth. It's all out there, and the debate about it is like, well, now I can't recognize Drow because it looks like a princess. And to me, it's like we are playing the hardest game that IGN says of 2013. And you're telling me we memorize all these heroes, remember all these items, and you're telling me you can't click a hero going, which hero is this, and go, oh, I know what it is. I don't think it's that big a deal.
I can understand that as an argument, though, because if you're a new player, it's kind of daunting. I don't know.
It is.
Like, you might not remember the name of the hero. Like,
the game is already too daunting for new players.
Yeah, it's like, if we look at TI4, okay, I've thought about this a bunch of times. Like, how do you get casual players to enjoy TI4 that don't know Dota, right? It's fucking hard, right? I mean, you can think of like having, like, when they choose a hero, having a quick cinematic come out with like an SMV thing going on, not SMV, like SFM, thank you. Like with, like, you know, Juggernaut doing a slice, and then have all of his like skills come up on the right, and then show, oh, this is what he does, and then maybe have like a clip of it happening. And that's like the best you can do in terms of exposing people to Dota, as far as I can think of, because it's a complex game. It's not like League of Legends. It's meant to be more complex. It's meant to be harder, which for the actual people watching it is harder. But we're already in a hard game. We're already in a game that's not going to be easy for people. So at that point, to me, it's like, how many there's a shadow demon set on there, but he's got some chains around his neck. I couldn't fucking tell that there was an item on there, and so you're expecting people to buy that, and they're not going to.
Well, there's also heroes that their models are so small, like Ricky. The reason he doesn't sell well is because you can't tell he's wearing anything different.
He's invisible all the fucking time.
That is well, yes.
Buy it.
That's true too.
I looked at Ricky. I'm like, that's a great set, and I thought to myself,
I'm never gonna see
invisible. Fuck that. I'm not gonna spend the money on it.
So I don't know. I guess it's just vote on what you. If you care about this, then downvote the ones that you don't want.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we need more participation in the workshop.
I mean, there's always Reddit hate threads about items, but nobody actually goes back.
It's like it's after. It's like once it's already in the game, it's not in the workshop.
Yeah.
So is that it? That's all we got.
That's all we got for like actual topics. Let's move to the shoutouts, I guess. Just felt pretty good. I mean, we've been on for like an hour and a half, so
we started a little late, but
we're starting to transition towards that longer show at this point.
No, I don't want to.
We have.
This one was like an hour and 20 minutes.
And so was Parian.
Well, that's because it was fucking
capitalist.
Dude. That's impossible.
But it's
he just rambles. We talked about Subway for 25 minutes.
Oh man,
this has become
I've been trying not to go off on tangents. I'm pretty good at that too.
What's your thought on Subway?
Do you like? Okay, yes or no?
Delicious.
Fuck. All right, we're done now. We're done now then.
Honestly, I used to hate it. I used to hate it. I was kind of a hipster back in the day in regards to Subway. Have you guys ever heard of Blimpie?
Yes.
No.
Blimpie's legit. Honestly, there just isn't that much. Like, there's just so many Subways. It's more convenient to go to. But if I had a choice between Subway and any other chain, I'd probably go to the other chain, to be honest.
What about Quiznos? Like, Quiznos is pretty good.
Quiznos is amazing. Holy
Thank you very much.
Oh my god. That sauce they put in the Italian sub, holy balls, man. That is amazing. I don't know what they do. If that's like special sauce from, whoever's making it, that's fine with me. Anyway.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's so good. Alright, what's your opinion on you hate Subway?
Subway, dude. I hate Subway. Me and Monolith are trying to create a movement of just hating. I fucking hate Subway.
They're on a holy crusade against Subway.
It's fucking horrible. It's like
Subway's
they paint
boring.
their chicken. I can't get past that.
Was it Beat that when somebody said that they paint their chicken, he said that sounds like an extra bonus type thing?
No, Beatus doesn't like Subway either, but
I don't remember who said it. Maybe it was
I have a list of people in my mind who like Subway, and now Suns fan is on it. God damn it.
Wait, so you literally like nothing at Subway?
I will never I will never walk into a Subway unless like I would probably have to be dying. Like
$5
so what's your alternative for
anything else? Like literally anything else.
Okay, he would sue with the $5 bill.
Else. That's the problem.
There's literally you don't have like a corner store or something.
Subway is the last resort.
I am now a Walmart shopper, which may or may not be a good thing.
Walmart Nation, I'm okay with Walmart.
There are literally two Subways. Two Subways. One.
Okay, I have a Subway at the end of my street. And I live on a very short street. It's 2 houses down. I've never walked into it.
I would eat at that place every day.
I hear Subways have really good bathrooms too. Just saying.
Yeah, in my experience,
before every cast, Suns fan goes to a Subway.
Yeah, I got my pregame meal, pregame dump, then I come back and cast. So.
I don't know. I'm just not a big, not a big Subway fan. I don't know.
Subways
were brought to you by Subway.
I used to eat. You know what's weird? Because I used to eat Subway a lot when I was younger, but now I just like the thought of eating Subway is nauseating to me.
Subway is
much,
that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm burned out. Maybe I'm Subway burned out.
Subway, you have to have no money left, and you're on low budget, and you want a foot-long sub. That's about the only time. And at that point, you.
But I also live next to a Stop and Shop, so I'd rather just go to the Stop and Shop and.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
But that involves cooking.
Yeah.
Dude, there's pre-made shit at Stop and Shop.
There is. I mean,
true. It's probably cheaper too.
I guess
you would think.
Anyway,
that, but all right, we're done then. Anyway.
Actually, hold on. I'm seeing chat. Somebody's mentioning Jimmy John's. I have to say I actually prefer Subway to Jimmy John's because Jimmy John's they give you more bread than meat and it costs more than Subway. So I do not approve of Jimmy John's, but they do deliver. Pretty legit. So.
I found out Burger King delivers in my state.
What?
Mass.
What the fuck?
They don't deliver around me, but they deliver in Malden, and I'm pissed because I read it on Facebook from someone like.
I don't even know where the nearest Burger King is to me. There's like no. There's actually a really surprisingly low amount of fast food in Boston.
I read it.
I mean, there's just so many. Everything else though that you don't really need.
Like the only fast food place I go to more than once a month, probably once every 2 months, is the one that's on campus. Unless you count Dunkin' Donuts as fast food, in which case I guess. There's
I don't know.
Krispy Kreme.
Oh, I'm so mad that Krispy Kreme isn't around here anymore. I'm so mad.
They were open in Everett for briefly, and then they closed.
Yeah.
And I actually got like the off the conveyor belt Krispy Kreme experience, and that was pretty good. But I was so excited when I found out Burger King was delivering. Like my heart like jumped in my chest because I'm fat. And then like I went online to check. I'm like, we don't deliver in your area. I'm like, fuck you, Burger King.
You gotta move
done
now.
with you.
That's all there is to it.
Then I ate a Whopper. Anyway, let's end the show. Greg, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Shout out to Coddle Guy for staying up from 2:30 to like 8 a.m. with me once, and yeah, that was good. I appreciate that. Solo casting.
Once?
Well, the other Pandago did one of the other games, and then
Mott helped out too,
the other
right?
day I solo casted. No, Mott didn't do any of the Korea games. Asshole.
He's a loser.
But shout out to that because solo casting kind of blows. Although I was surprised my solo casts were okay, but I usually don't really like doing it very much. And if you want to see more from me, follow me on Twitter. I'm fairly good about tweeting whenever I cast, and you can watch my VODs on BTS. I was doing Join Dota for a little bit. I'll probably still be doing some stuff, but yeah, you can find my VODs over there. So
if you miss him when he's live streaming, just wait for the rebroadcast because he'll be on that.
I feel like such a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Oh,
like a Suns fan, 10 episodes ago, he was going on and on about the rebroadcast.
How passionate I just was about Subway. I was way more passionate about rebroadcast. Now I've been on one.
But I agree with you because if we had been on after BTS, we would have been fucked by rebroadcast afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So we would have lost either way. That's why we need to do a different night.
It's Twitch's fault, honestly.
God bless him. I mean,
honestly, it's Twitch's fault. But
regardless,
we're done.
I can't blame him. If I could make an I'm making a number of $500 from rebroadcasting this in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, I would rebroadcast it.
Yeah. So
Mason, do you have any shout-outs?
As always, shout-outs to all you guys. Thank you, Suns fan, for coming on. It's been great to have you. Thank you, everybody who's watching. Like I always say, without you guys, we'd be talking to ourselves. We do enough of that, really. 2 more shout-outs. Shout out to LOL Prisoner in chat for being by far the most entertaining person. I think I actually gave you a timeout last week, and I'm very sorry about that. I've seen the error in my ways, and I appreciate what you do. And secondly, shout out to Mott for the Speedo pictures that he put on Twitter. Because he actually went through with it, and I respect that.
Wait a minute, he actually put a Speedo picture up?
Oh, yeah. He did.
Yep.
He said
Charlie asked for it, and he fucking posted it. And,
no, I asked
not even
for
mad.
it.
Oh, you asked for it?
He said he was going out to coach a swim tournament, and I asked him if he had any Speedo pictures. And he said, do you really want to see them? And then Charlie responded and said, yeah, and then he posted them.
He's like 2 steps away from gay porn, isn't he? He really is.
Actually, I think he's about, I guess it's 2 steps.
I mean, 1 step after the picture with you and him.
Oh, God.
It was like Photoshop, but still. God bless Mott, though. Suns fan, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give? You can't do Cinderin.
Uh-oh. Well, thanks to you guys for having me on. It was fun. Thanks to everybody that supported our channel in the past and now our expansion into, pretty much everything. Our website, workshop, casting, and now Heroes of the Storm coverage, which I'm sure a lot of people are happy about. But don't knock it till you tried it. But thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
All right. Shout-outs for me, obviously. K-Pop Toast is in chat. I got to give him a shout-out. Sometimes it's funny because we're not like
you don't
a
think
big
about the
time.
consequences of your actions?
No, I don't think about that anyway. But I think about we're kind of a small-time show, if you will, quote-unquote, small-time. And to see people actually come in the chat, Ryu or or K-pop.
Ryu, we're putting Ryu on this fucking pedestal.
Ryu's only here because he gets to be a mod.
Charlie. I mean, Charlie shows up.
Charlie puts dicks
capitalist.
in the chat.
I'm really humbled by that.
False. Charlie comes and puts dicks in the chat.
So does Greg. That's not the point. I mean,
all right, fair.
You know, on our show, he's spoken more on our show than he has in any other show other than Dota Radio.
Combined.
Right?
No, he didn't talk on that show either. But all right.
But I mean, so I want to give a shout out to Cuddle Guy.
Shouting out, Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Time limit next time.
I hope you choke on that drink. Right. Anyway, so shout out to everybody. I appreciate you guys watching us. We have a great time here. That's why we do it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. So you can follow me, obviously, at Darius. You can follow Way Dota at Way Dota.
It's right below your little. It's right. Just
it's right below us. Feel free to follow all of us because what happens is sponsors and potential sponsors actually look at how many follows you have as kind of a clout thing. So
and then they pass over us and laugh. So
yeah, I mean, I really want to BenQ monitor. It's still not working out for me, but maybe one day. But that's kind of the importance of social media. It's crazy to think about because I didn't even care about Twitter like 7 months ago, and now I'm at a very healthy 152 followers.
Woo.
I know. Shut up, Greg. I know what you're thinking.
I'm not thinking anything.
No, you're not thinking anything. All right, so thank you, everybody. Suns fan, once again, I appreciate you coming on the show. It was a pleasure having you. I hope you had a good time.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right.
And we'll see you next week, hopefully Sunday, if God willing, all goes well. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.